Welcome to another session of Technology by Performix. I'm Ken Umansky, your host for our latest journey into the world of technology. My guest today is Amith Singh, CTO for IBM India and South Asia. Amith sets the strategy for the research division in IBM India for driving forward-looking innovation that fuels growth for IBM's products and services. This includes foundational research in the areas of hybrid cloud, AI, quantum computing, cybersecurity, and sustainability. He engages with the regional ecosystem and academia and industry to represent IBM's technology vision. Amith has a PhD in electrical and computer engineering from Carnegie Mellon University and BTech from the India Institute of Technology. Welcome, Amith.
Hi, Ken. Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to it.
I really appreciate your time to join us today. I know that with your IBM responsibilities, your travel, and your family, your time must be limited. So I'm really happy that you can join us. I'm honored as well. So I have a few questions to ask you. So let's just get started. We hear the
Sure.
terms foundational models, large language models, generative AI, and so on. Are these all the same things?
They're not all the same things. They're all closely related. I think we all know what generative AI generally means with all the services that have been showing up over the last couple of years that allow you to use AI to generate poetry, images, letters, code, and so on. So generative AI is any AI that generates content of different forms. Now, it can be powered by traditional AI, but it has been supercharged by improvements in neural network technology and the use of GPUs. And that's where large language models have really come through. These are models or neural networks most of the time that model how a particular language is written and spoken, or versions of that are also there for images. But large language model really are all about language, right? So English, Hindi, Spanish, and so on. Foundation models is a more general version of large language models, which is not about just language, but can be applied to other kinds of modalities, image, video, but even time series data coming from manufacturing processes or IT data coming from data centers. And the concept is, can you train AI with a huge amount of data without necessarily supervising it so that it looks in these billions and trillions of tokens or symbols and extracts the underlying patterns and just understands how that modality works. And then then you can apply it to all kinds of different use cases, like predicting things or identifying anomalies or generating content without having to train it again and again with large amounts of data for each use case. So foundation models let you do that. You train a very large model, and then you can more easily apply it to different use cases than you could before. Large language models is a specific version of foundation models, and generative AI is the application of these technologies to generate content. But you can use foundation models also for other kinds of applications, not just generating content. So hopefully that helps clarify how these are similar and how these are different.
It really does. That's a good synopsis for us. Thank you. Where do we stand today in the industry from the perspective of adoption of foundational models and generative AI for the enterprise?
I think the industry across sectors is really going through early stage of disruption where many of our clients, the view we get from IBM, enterprise clients in financial services, retail, government, and so on, are experimenting with these technologies. They're doing proof of concepts, pilots, and in particular cases, one or two use cases, they would have even scaled it for applications. But they still haven't scaled these technologies across the enterprise to really bring the value that they promise. And we believe this year and the next couple of years is really going to be the transition phase where enterprises are going to start extracting value at scale. But that needs the research community and the technology community to address some challenges that exist today with this kind of technology.
So as an additional question in that area, how do you see AI agents affecting, business as we move forward?
Yeah, so AI agents are useful in so many different business processes. You can take things like software engineering, software development. You can take back-end business processes such as procurement or HR. And a lot of enterprises are looking at how they can use these, what we call digital labor sometimes, which are basically these AI agents to automate steps in these business processes that are generally mundane and reduce error and streamline all of this and leverage their human workforce to do higher value tasks. And in this way, bring more productivity to their enterprise, but also increase their business value that they bring to their consumers. Because with the same investment in human resources, they can now attack more high value use cases. So that's generally how we see it across many different kinds of business processes.
Do you think it's going to replace human interaction, or do you think it'll be an adjunct to it?
It will be an adjunct to it. If you double click, there are certain human interactions which are mundane. Those particular ones will increasingly get replaced. That's the whole point. But then humans will start doing more high value work. They will be able to address more work and they will be able to achieve higher quality than they could because they can focus more on the high quality efforts. So definitely humans need to learn how to use these agents as part of their work and also be constant learners themselves so that they can adopt and develop those more high value use cases.
Yeah, we're running into a lot of people who are looking at how to develop agents, and in lots of different categories, different manufacturing and, as you said, human HR, etc. I'm interested in your perspective. Thank you. What are some considerations that come up when enterprises look to scale value from generative AI for their business?
Yeah, so this is an interesting one, especially for us in IBM and all of our clients, because it's fine to use AI to generate consumer content, images and videos. But when you want to use it, for HR to serve your employee base, or you want to use it for procurement, or you want to use it for software development, there's a couple of things that really come in. One is trust in these AI systems, ability to govern them and to explain and to know end-to-end what's happening. And the other is cost and scale, right? And so trust is a big one. If I'm a bank, I'm really not comfortable sending all of my proprietary data, my HR data, my customer data over to somebody's cloud service because I need to secure it. And there's regulatory requirements around how I manage that data and the life cycle of it. So I'm really keen to bring that AI in-house and bring the AI to the data rather than taking the data to the AI. And a lot of the services, AI services available today as cloud services, they are trained on internet data that's publicly available. And there's no way they can answer your employee a question about vacation policy because that information is not available on Google. And so enterprises really are looking for AI platforms that allow them to build these AIs in-house to govern the end-to-end data lifecycle of what goes into training these AIs, and also have the governance layer that allows all stakeholders, not just data scientists, but business stakeholders, legal, compliance officers, to have visibility on everything starting from square one, which is taking the data and ending with consumption with the end user. So really this governed AI and enabling it at effective cost and scale, these are primary considerations today for a lot of businesses.
One of the things all over the news is the warning about the downside of AI and what's going to happen as it takes over human beings. What's your perspective on that?
Every new technology that has disruptive impact, you look at industrialization, has come with unknowns because it's new and it has wide impact. You look at just digitalization over the last couple of decades, you look at mechanization several decades ago. I think, and many others think that AI is a similar technology. It's definitely going to have pervasive impact. But we also see that entities across industry, across government, and across nonprofits are engaged to understand the implications of this technology and to shape it and to regulate it in a way that allows for innovation at scale, but also places requirements on how it can be used and what the responsibilities are for somebody who's developing these technologies. One example being the regulations that recently got passed by the European Union just a week or two ago. And many countries are looking at that, right? So just like with any other disruptive technology we've had in human history, it will have these unknowns, but we also believe that given the available technology that humans have at hand and our experience with using these kinds of disruptive technology, we will be able to regulate and govern how these things are used. The other thing that's happening is open source communities, an example being the AI Alliance that was formed a few months ago by over 50 founding members, IBM being one of those, are working together in the open to create policies, to enable tools that help data scientists and the ecosystem members develop responsible and trustworthy AI. So there's a lot of attention in shaping this technology in the right direction. And I'm an optimist that we will figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm an optimist too. I agree with you. As your role in IBM, you probably see a lot of high value use cases. Can you give us for generative AI especially? Can you give us a little bit of what you see in some of those cases, and kind of the results of those?
Yeah. So one example I mentioned a few at a high level is software development. Right? Increasingly, businesses who are not in the business of selling software, I mean, they may be banks or retailers, they do have in-house software development, or they rely on IT consulting vendors to provide that software development for their applications that run their business. We are seeing tremendous value there. Clients are seeing tremendous value there. One example is this whole area of mainframe application modernization. Ken, you may know that over 85% of credit card transactions today go through the mainframe at the back end. Many banking transactions, it's the system of record for large-scale businesses. And these applications have been written in languages like COBOL, PL1, 4 or 5 decades ago. And they're serving us well. Most of the time, we don't see our credit card transaction going wrong. But businesses are facing the challenge that they don't find that many COBOL developers coming out of college, and folks who know the code are retiring. And so they are keen to bring these code bases into more common modern languages such as Java or Python as needed, while leveraging the benefits of the mainframe in terms of scale and security. So this is a great place where we're seeing generative AI coming to the fore to help them automate a lot of the tasks around converting and modernizing these huge code bases that run into tens or hundreds of millions of lines of code. And similarly, you can even look at legacy Java code bases. You can look at greenfield development. So that's a big area. Another big area is, like I mentioned, digital labor as applied to business processes. For HR, we are seeing clients very interested to bring uniformity and standardization to HR support that is provided across their different units and divisions, and to use AI to provide all the standard support, whether it's vacation policy or doing promotions or whatever it is. These are standard tasks that you can have AI chatbots perform for you. This is another high value area, and many other business processes, but just calling out a couple of these.
Terrific. How does cloud computing and generative AI come together for businesses that are looking to leverage both for their transformation? I mean, everybody's talking about digital transformation. How's that going to work, or how is it working for businesses today?
Yeah, so definitely cloud makes it a lot easier for businesses to get started because they don't have to procure all the hardware and set up a system and a data center in-house just to do POCs and pilots and build some initial use cases with AI and generative AI, right? So it's a huge advantage. It brings lots of agility. But then going to my earlier point about considerations and trust and governance, this is another place where cloud computing, and more specifically hybrid cloud, which means enabling clients to have the option to choose different cloud venues. It could be public clouds, but even private clouds, so that they own the entire stack, becomes really powerful because with hybrid cloud technology, you can place the AI anywhere you want, wherever your data needs to be, but do it in a unified layer. So you don't need to have specialized skills and specialized teams to work with one venue versus another venue. So this is a place, especially in the enterprise space, we see hybrid cloud and AI really converging to allow enterprises to build these AI systems, to build data pipelines, to train and manage these AI systems across private and public clouds so that they have the flexibility of doing it wherever they want in terms of managing the data and the AI.
Well, unfortunately, thank you. I mean, we're out of time, however. You know, this time goes really quickly, especially when we're talking to someone like yourself. Amith, thank you again for all your experience, for your practical application and your view of generative AI and where it's going, because that's really helpful to us and our audience. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
You can find me online. You can find me on LinkedIn, and happy to have a discussion.
Terrific. Again, thank you. And
Thank you.
to our audience, remember, if you need help with any size technology project or challenge, please contact Performance Business Solutions at performancebiz.com. I'm your host, Ken Umansky, and until we meet again on another technology podcast, keep innovating.